Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. Welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol. We are at the studio at the Beacon at 814 Elm Street. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. For now, find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And don't forget, we are brought to you by the Red Arrow Diners, Manchester, Londonderry, Concord, and Nashua, all open 24/7. Have a diner day. So today, I'm so excited, very excited to have on Pat Mills. So welcome, Pat, to Beyond the Plate.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, also love it. So exciting, so exciting. I just, I have to tell you, I have like this ritual. Like, I have my sewing store in Salem, and I usually work Thursday through Sunday. And when I come home, I come down 93, I get off at Brown Ave, and I go, the south end of Elm, and I go because, I live in the north end, I go all the way down Elm Street. That's like my ritual. And it's funny because when Daryl and I at night go to dinner or come back from dinner or whatever, he'll always turn and take me down Elm Street. And I love going by Bonfire and seeing you out there.
I think I think everybody does that, right? All the bar owners or restaurant owners, just to see what the vibe is, just to see who's busy, who's not busy, what the vibe, who's walking around, what's going on downtown. And all the bar owners do it. And all the restaurant owners do it.
When I do it when my mother's in the car, she has a fit. She's like, "You are so nosy." That's what she says to me. I'm like, "Mom, I like the Elm Street vibe, and I want to know what's going on." Exactly. Like,
who's new, what's opening, what's going where, who's doing what.
Well, you know what? On that subject, what's opening? Isn't it crazy? All these people that want to go into this business.
Why?
Let's say, come to them.
Come talk to somebody and be like, "Oh, I have this new idea." Why? Yeah, right.
They have this thing in their head.
I've always wanted to do it. I always wanted to own a restaurant and bar.
And I'm like, well, just come work a shift at the diner.
So I'm talking to an owner. Do we look after you?
They never take us up on it either. I don't know why.
Oh, you're going to do something different? Bro.
I mean, did you see there's a diner opening up right here?
Why?
Couple doors down. I was just in there.
Is there a demand for it?
I don't know. I don't think.
Are people banging down the door?
And then another one down in North End. Where North End Bistro would. Did you hear that?
Same guy, right?
No.
What the Ho in the North End Bistro, same guy, right?
I haven't heard that, no.
I heard that. Same guy.
I don't think so. I was just talking to him.
Okay.
Here. Dionysi?
I think so. He's doing a 24-hour takeout window at What the Fo.
Yeah.
And then
just French fries and pizza and French fries out the window at Alice.
Same guy as
no, because it's some Guatemalans. Yeah. No.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
The Ruin Mill probably sent something out.
I don't know, but I guess time will tell. We're gonna see. But
is there a demand though?
But I don't think so.
You see your numbers. I know what's going on.
Totally.
And I had a late night pizza place before COVID, and now we don't open it, and there's no demand for it. There's no one coming out, and from the Arrow, it's an institution. It's everybody goes there, but you're not it's not what it used to be.
No, it definitely isn't. I mean, it definitely isn't. Hopefully it's going to change. I guess we'll have to see. I'm not sure, but let's talk about Bonfire.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Bonfire. So I am talking with Pat Mills, owner of Bonfire Restaurant and Country Bar, 950 Elm Street. You can check them out at bonfiremanch.com. I love that manch. Got to keep it short. Some of these URLs that they're so long, but I love that. You and I talk a lot. Well, not a lot, but when we chat and we talk about how we just did crazy these people are getting in this business. So and I just found out that you worked at Strange Brew. I don't know how I didn't know that. I thought I did my homework, but I guess I didn't. I didn't do it well. So talk to me about your history. What brought you into this business? And you were a police officer.
So I came up probably in 99. I went to school up here in criminal justice, and then went into the Manchester Police as a dispatcher. And then that was the time when not everybody was hiring to be a police officer, and you would go to take a test for Manchester, and there'd be 300 people taking a test, right? For 2 spots. And I remember taking a test at Memorial and changing in the men's room with like 60 guys. And then you would go run, take your test and do whatever. And then you would wait for a call back. And I was still in dispatch, and it was taking longer than I thought. And there was an opening for another PD, and I went to the academy, and then went to another PD. And then the chief of Manchester at the time was someone that was whatever. But then Dave Mara became the chief, and I went back to Manchester as a dispatcher, hoping to get back on the road. And I ended up getting hurt skiing, and I just didn't like it. So I started off as a bar back at Strange Brew, came up, bartended, did whatever for many, many years. A lot of good friends, a lot of like people that we're still in touch with and really close with. And then the opportunity for Bonfire came open with a guy that was opening it. And we started at demo and went all the way up. And during COVID, Jimmy and I bought him out, and we've been running it and owners since 2000 and to present. And yeah, that's basically it. So we used to be a 7-day week operation. And now after COVID, like we discussed, everything's changed. Like the industry is not what it used to be.
It really has.
I hate to be the one that like airs it out and be that one that like is saying it, but the fact is that the industry's changed. Say that's it. That's the truth.
So you did, I just want to make mention of Jim. Jimmy's your partner.
Jimmy's my partner. Yeah. Great partner. We
two of you together are great.
We started as friends for many, many years, and then this opportunity came up, and it's great because Jimmy and I have our roles at the bar and do different things, and it's great. We haven't got to that point of like any negativity, or we just make it work. And I think Jimmy has his.
You each has yours.
Yeah, like he does a lot of the outdoor. I mean, not outdoor, but a lot of the different things that I do, and I have my things that I do, and
you complement each other. Yeah, you know that's important in a partnership. You know, I found a quote somewhere. He said, "You are the kindest, hardworking, and opinionated people around."
I want to change. Like I recently went through some stuff, so
I think that's great.
I just had an award ceremony up for the CAC, and they put like a film together. So we sat at the table, and they did interviews with my wife and the chief, and it was always the same thing. It's like a complete asshole with the big heart, and I just want to be a regular person now. I don't want to be the asshole with the big heart.
You are not. No,
that's what like even Al was like. Oh, he's got a big heart, but he's a roughick too.
And now you're reading that in the opposite. I read it as, and anytime your name gets mentioned, it's always, oh my gosh, he does so much. And you do. You have your hands in so many different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna do this not right now, but I'm gonna do it now because it's appropriate. I met Pat when I knew of you, but I was we had started. I think we had just moved actually. Maybe had been there a year, but whatever. I was selling a bunch of shells in my house, and I put it on Facebook Marketplace. So usually have pretty good luck on there. And, I got somebody that said they're going to come pick them up. And I answered the door, and it's Pat and Jim. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what? You're the one that wants my shelf. The hell do you want my shelves for? I'm like, this is just so weird. And then you told me it was for a charity event.
It was through the CAC. We were going to put the shelves, and we were going to make a Harmony's closet. This was when Harmony's case was big. So we wanted to do something at the CAC.
And CAC is Child Advocacy Center.
Yeah, right here in Manchester. They actually just bought that big funeral home on Chestnut Street. Chestnut and Harrison. I think so, yeah. So they're going to make that their facility. But they're down by Hesser now. So we wanted to make a room.
Sir.
That's where my alma mater. Hesser for the lesser. So we wanted to make a room for when they do their interviews that the kids can go in and get like stuff that they need for home that they might not have, like toiletries, books, different things. And then we needed a shelf, and then Carol put a shelf on. So like, this is perfect. So it was a cubicles, so we could fill them with different theory for different ages and stuff. So it worked out perfect, and Jim and I went and picked them up, and that's kind of where like the friendship grew.
It is. It really is. And then I just see you, doing this and doing that. I mean, the list is pretty big of the organizations that you help. I was talking with Michelle Cretion. No, she's great. I mean, she knows. You need to know anything, you just ask Michelle. I mean, she's a newer friend of mine, and she is just something else. Love her. She's starting a podcast also.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, Made in MHT.
Okay.
So, yeah. But one of them that I was friends of Anya. That's like an amazing story. Oh, my goodness.
So there's a lieutenant at the PD, Matt Barter, who was involved in it. And every year he would do like the gala. And it was a fundraiser at the Manchester Country Club. And then one of my bartenders and a girl from the C, they're both from the CAC, but one works for me at the bar. I'm like, what is this? And like, it's a nonprofit that does, it's not counseling.
Child grief.
They say counseling, but I don't really feel like. So you go and it's on the west side and it's for children that have lost family members. Yeah. So it's like teens, middles.
So like Anya's sister.
No, Anya was the one that passed away.
Right. But
yeah,
helping her sister.
Right. And she didn't have anybody when Anya died. So her parents, who are awesome, like they formed this outreach, bring other grieving kids in and to let them express what's going on with other kids, not with like a therapist like in a room, but like with other kids.
It's important.
So like other kids that are going through the same stuff and how they can relate and not being like, tell me this. So we do different activities. There's coloring, there's books that we read, there's snacks, there's like different things to like let them be kids through very young kids all the way up to teenagers. And like each peer support like has different ways of like communicating with them and not always talking about the grieving, but like, how do you cope with the grieving? What does this make you feel like? So it's an awesome group. Like it, super like supportive of the kids and they're really into it. Like I did say to them once, I'm like, I don't know if what I'm doing is helping. And they're like, well, you don't see it, but we talked to the parents who email and like the kids are changing because of what you did. And like, I was the only guy in there, right? This only guy with all the women and stuff. And like, so all the kids were like, and I'm not a big guy at all. Like I'm like this huge guy walking in a room. I'm just like sitting there. And so it was like, I connected with like some of the boys.
Yeah, a different perspective.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
it's important because they need that avenue. It's a big deal. My son lost his brother, my son, and and I have a girlfriend that just lost her daughter also, and we talk a lot about the siblings, and just like that. I mean, you are making a difference.
So the grieving is like the way that like we had a fresh grieving to like 2 years old, and one was a brother, a grandparent, different things in their lives. So it was like different aspects of how like we can communicate and open up and see what helps them, and whether it's coloring or doing like the different different things that they have listed for the day.
So is it like a weekly thing or a monthly thing?
It was every Tuesday.
Okay.
And they don't do it during the summer because the kids are on vacation. So it was every Tuesday, and then it's open to everyone. So they the parents email them and they come in. And
that's so interesting. Oh my gosh.
And it's in one of those, like, being in the city, like it's in one of those old Victorian houses. Yeah. It just goes up and like up and up and up. I'm like, what? It's like all these different rooms and like these old like stairwells that go up, and it was just cool. It was, the kids were like, I had 5 girls that different, mostly 5, and you would just go in and we would read and color and do different things and like integrate what the grieving was, or like what was the ups and downs for this, like what were the ups this week, what were the downs this week, and like it was. And
they probably open up to you probably more than like not sure what to say to mom and dad or family, or it's like just it's different.
Well, like therapist or some like while coloring, they're like, oh, I talked to this today and blah, blah, blah. So,
Right.
and I think it was like, so they bounce off each other. And as like the weeks go on, they form this bond.
Yeah.
You know, the other great part of it was, and I didn't get to do this, but they also have it for the parents. So the parents go to there's 2 houses, so they go to the other house.
Well,
So then the people, like the friends of Anya people, like work with the parents. And that's where the different bond, like they start talking to each other outside of Tuesdays. And they're like, they work through the grieving together. So that adult process is great for them. And that's where you see like the head of like the friends of Anya, like talk about like the bonding that the parents have, the coping mechanisms that they have. So that's a good aspect of that.
so friends of Anya, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, when I post this, well, when my son posts it, because I'm not the techie person at all, I'm going to post a link for them. Just, people may be listening and be like, what is this organization? Like, I want more info on it. So I'll post their link.
It's great. And
so that people
that are going through it
yeah.
have that avenue to reach out, and not a therapist, not something, and it's free. And you just go, and like the kids can have somebody to talk to, and the parents can have somebody to talk to, and there's no like, we're not therapists. I'm not a therapist. I'm not anything close to it. But
Just a regular guy.
And I can't even color. I suck at coloring. I'm like, I haven't colored in 30 years.
Is it fun though sometimes with nice new crayons? You gotta have new ones.
Crazy. I'm like, colored pencils. I'm like, wow, that was pink. So
that's just one of the many. I'm just going to list off a few here. I mean, Make-A-Wish, Salvation Army, Queen City Rotary, Hope, New Hampshire, Special Olympics, Swim with a Mission. I mean, you're like involved in so many things.
yes.
Like why? I want to know your why.
Oh, maybe because I'm such a dickhead.
Stop it. You are not. You are not.
I think maybe because the way that
Being opinionated doesn't mean that you're any of that. That's not true.
I think I grew up that way and came from a big Italian family that was always giving and helping, and I think maybe that's what it was, and I think paying it forward has something to do with it.
It's important.
I think that's
So important to be involved in your community and to make a presence like that. I mean,
I think that right now in my life, I'm very fortunate. I have, my wife and stepdaughter, and we're very fortunate. We do a lot of things, and they come to a lot of things, and my wife is there, and she's very supportive, and I'm sure it's hard, like not being in the background, but like having to do some of this stuff. And there's been a lot of things that she's tricked me on as far as like getting me to go to places for her. The one was when I got the award for the CAC, she's like, oh, they need some ideas for fundraising and TikTok. I go, but that's what you do. Like, you're the queen of TikTok. Like, you do all that stuff. That's your, like, so why do they need me? So like, I went there, and they surprised me with the award and when it was going to happen. And
oh my God.
the other one for the Rotary with Monique, who's my Make-A-Wish partner, they tricked me to go there. And then it was at the back row. I'm like, what? So there was like 3 cruisers outside, and then Al's car, and then another friend of ours. I'm like, what is going on? So then they tricked me for that, and my wife tricked me for that. And then my stepdaughter was there. I'm like, why is she here? Like, what's going on? And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, and I think some of the stuff that I piggyback off of, like the military stuff, is from Al and my other buddy Jake, who's very big and was Swim with the Mission. So we do that with him. There's another one that really doesn't get mentioned, and it's Lizzie's Legacy. So not to go too morbid. So several years ago, I was working at the bar. So we have like young girls that work for us that come back during college, and waitress and stuff. So we had Lizzie, who was working with us, and she was working a Wednesday night with me, and she was having a bad night, and one of the tables was being mean to her or whatever. And I'm like, who cares? I go, do I care? Have I ever yelled at you about like anything? What a customer says, I go, I don't give a shit. Like, they're not going to take your birthday away. They're not going to, like, who cares? They're bitching about something. I don't care. Like, whatever. It was just a Wednesday night, a rainy Wednesday night. And I'm like, let's just get out of here. So I walked her to her car. She was parked in front of the Shasky, and I was in my truck. And then she drove by me, and I waved to her. And the next morning, we're in bed, and the phone rang. and Candy answered the phone, and she like stood up, and at the same time I was checking the news, and it was a fatal accident.
I just got shivers.
That was probably Lizzie coming through. So I got, and I just like, I called Jeff Hastings right away and like, hey, what was that fatal, blah, blah, blah. And it was, so as I'm doing that, Candy's on the phone with one of the other waitresses, and that it was Lizzie. So Lizzie had left and was going home to Merrimack. It was another vehicle that was going northbound in the southbound lane. They just met. So it was during COVID. It was just awful. And that has stuck with me like one of the monumental things in my life, because this part that I'm going to tell you is like, I really don't share, like my wife knows and stuff, but so I had to like get my whole staff together, right? I had to rent a van from Merchants. I said, we're going to go to Lizzie's funeral, blah, blah, blah. So we got a big van and my whole staff went, and we had to wear masks. So I didn't wear a mask. I had like the balaclava that like went over your face. So I was the first one. My staff was behind me, and we went through the receiving line, and Lizzie's mom was first when I came around the corner, and she said, "I know you." And now you couldn't see my beard. I just had just my bald head.
Recognize people's
eyes, right? And she goes, "I know who you are. I know you." It was just like, I just broke down. Like, I know who you are. I know you, because she knew that I was the last one to see Lizzie. So like that shook me. And like, I was having such a hard time with it, because like, if I had made her stay and roll silverware, if I made her clean this or bust the tables instead of saying, just get out of here, Lizzie, blah, 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 would the time...
So many friends.
So like, when she saw me, she looked in my eyes and said, "I know who you are. I know you, Pat." And I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, like that shook and still shakes me like. And so that was like one of the big things. So after that, we got with her parents, like after everything that was settled and stuff, and we'd form like Lizzie's legacy to like help. She was a big, like...
How old was she?
She wasn't even, she might have been 21, or she just turned 20. She's 21. So it was like this, so we formed like this scholarship at EG and did all this stuff with her parents and like stayed close with her parents and stuff. But that one was like the biggest thing in this industry that's like really shook me. And then
they become your family. I mean,
and I think like I held a lot of guilt with like, and I talked to her mom and her dad. Her dad's a great guy, and like, it was just like, if I did this different, if I said this different, or if I just don't leave, I want you to roll that silverware. Like, would the trajectory be different? Would it have been this guy missing in a different way or whatever? But it was, that was one of the organizations that like I'm still hits home, and like and her dad from this form something. So like, if you're scrolling through TikTok and you're scrolling through something, it's the National like Highway Safety Committee, and he formed stuff up, and it's ironic. It is somewhat more ironic that like he formed this thing about over serving people and driving drunk and all this stuff, and that I own a bar. So it's weird, but like, you know, you'll scroll through and there'll just be a picture of Lizzie and everything that like. It's hard. It was a very sad time for all of us, and a lot of young kids have never been.
She knew that night how much you meant to her, and you know her. Oh gosh, that's brutal.
I had a lawyer with the chief of Merrimack, and I had to call him, and he told me the story of the officer on scene, and brutal. Yeah, but anyways, that's
yeah. Let's go back to Bonfire.
Okay.
Let's go back to Bonfire. So for people, you know, that may be just tuning in, and because we were yapping, talking, I'm talking with Pat Mills, owner of Bonfire Restaurant and Country Bar. It is.
It was the first bar in the city, yeah.
I mean, your seats are iconic. Come on. I have so many pictures of like my mother on one, my aunt on one, my son on one. I mean, they were like awesome. So for somebody maybe that might be listening that hasn't been to Bonfire, walk us through. What do we find? Like, as we're walking down the sidewalk and we either turn right or left and go into Bonfire, what are they going to see?
So we have it's a country theme. So we have every table in the restaurant's different.
Love that.
So we have kegs, we have John Deere, we have regular stools, wooden seats, we have a ski lift from Pat's Peak, we have a truck bed.
I can't get up on the ski lift. It's too high for me. I can't.
It's from Pat's Peak. Original Pat's.
Is it really?
When Pat's Peak went over there, they did a quad. So we got their triple. So we went out and got that. And then a guy in the city who was doing upholstery, he did the truck bed and he did that. So then we have 52 TVs upstairs, and then we do music that coincides with the music videos, and then we have sports on. It's not a big sports bar at all. So we do Red Soho.
2 levels.
It's 2 levels. Downstairs we have a game room. So we have air hockey, giant Jenga, buck hunter. We have a claw machine, cruise ball, and cornhole downstairs.
Oh.
So that's downstairs, and that gets pretty good on Friday and Saturday nights.
Now, is that open anytime? Like
Friday and Saturday nights downstairs.
Okay.
On Friday and Saturday, we have live music out back, country bands. And then on Sundays, we do country line dancing from 5 to 9. So she comes in, we have an instructor come in. She does like beginner stuff.
Lesson?
Yeah, she choreographs a song, and then so for beginners, and then at the end it's like the experts that come in, and yeah, it gets pretty busy.
You know, do you line dance?
Oh, it's okay.
Do you know that is like a dream of mine, to be able to cut to line dance? I mean, I just think it is like such a cool dance, and I'm so uncoordinated. I've actually taken lessons a couple of times, and then after like 2-3 weeks, I'm like, no, forget it. I'm just not meant to be.
She teaches everybody. She's on the stage, and
So is that at 5, the beginner thing?
Yeah, and then she choreographs it, and she counts it out, and she does the whole thing, and it's like super easy, and like she goes through a whole song. She'll do like, okay, we'll start over, and then we'll get the beginning and the end.
So is it like an hour or 45 minutes or what?
Yeah, so it's like an hour, and then 6 to 7 is like more people come, and then 7 to like 8:39 is everybody
Line dancing. So even the beginners that maybe got it.
Yep. They and everybody helps everybody.
Oh my gosh, Daryl and I are gonna go. Daryl, I'm gonna go. I have
so 603 Line Dancing is her company, and she goes all over now. She's a principal in Derry, but she's retiring. And they do it at another bar in the city. I won't mention the name. And then she does like a lot of halls. She'll do like the VFW and like all these different, yeah, she's huge.
Cool.
Yeah, you should like.
I would love that.
Like,
so 603
Line Dance.
Line dance.
Yeah. She's huge.
I love that. I wonder if she was maybe the one where we took lessons. It was like behind CMC.
No.
You know, like down near the river.
Was it in a hall?
It was like there was like a gymnastics place next door. Maybe not.
I don't know. She goes everywhere. Like all over. Yeah.
That is so cool. So, okay. So you do line dancing.
And then we're open Wednesday through Sunday. We host a run club on Wednesdays, the first.
We run club, like 1A?
Seen them. All that. They go to every bar.
No.
Yeah, it's walk, run, brew. So they do all the bars downtown. And you'll see them like on an afternoon, the people running in the vests.
Okay. That's what they're doing?
Then they come and they have beers after and hang out. They go all over. They go to Great North. They go to Stumble Inn. They go to the Rover. Yeah, it's Christine. She's awesome.
That is really cool. You know, it just popped in my head. My GM in Concord sent me a picture, a bunch of older men sitting in a booth eating breakfast, whatever, at the diner in Concord. And they all have motorcycles, and they're called the Romeo Club. Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
Real old men eating out. And they go to different places. They're called a Romeo Club. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's awesome. But okay, so walk, run, brew. That is cool.
So she...
And I have seen them, but I didn't...
She sets up the course for them, and they come and...
So is this a weekly thing?
So it's a monthly thing for me.
Okay.
The first Wednesday. But it is a weekly thing for them. So every
Wednesday they run and then they end somewhere.
I don't want to say it's every Wednesday, but some week, someday during the week, they're somewhere. So I think they were at Stumble Inn last night. and she posts like the pictures and she posts the runs and everything. And I don't know if there's a charge or whatever, but yeah, they get together.
That's cool. It's a huge. You wouldn't catch me in that club, but
So hot. I don't know how he did it.
yeah, I don't know. So they did do it last night. Yeah, bonus. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure. So, food.
So food is American: tacos, flatbreads, wings, tenders, burgers. Yeah, we're not. It's simple, super easy.
So yeah,
And then we host a ton of parties.
you do.
Yeah, a
You
ton,
definitely do. I've been to a couple of them, and
ton of them. So that's
I've won a couple things at them. I won stuff for my dogs. Yes,
Tito's best. That was
huge. I know Tito's dog dish for them. It's like freaking awesome.
And it had leashes and bandanas and chew toys.
So cool. So cool. My dog walker came and he's like, where'd you get this? I'm like, oh no, he was there that day. That's right. My dog walker, Greg.
That was for the Hope one, right? The Christmas party? You and Daryl came. What? It had to be.
Yeah, I guess it must have been.
Yeah.
I just knew you were doing something. I'm like, we need to go and support this. And
Yeah, that was
come
the
to
whole
Bonfire. And then I'll drag my mother down. I don't think my mother was there that time.
No.
Another is my time. I have a picture of my mom, and it comes up on my memories a lot. One time I took her to Bonfire, and she was drinking her martini out of one of the plastic solo martini glass.
The most stolen item.
It must be.
That and the wine glasses, yeah.
Because those cups are so cool.
Yeah, we get those.
They're very, very cool. Aw, freaking people, right?
Yeah,
Whatever. I
would imagine it's like the state knives back in the day from Outback.
Yeah, right?
Stole.
No kidding. You know, I used to date somebody that had a son, and he used to, as a restaurant owner, right? Like, come on.
You want?
Like, seriously? And sugar packets.
Yeah, and the pepper, like the cracked pepper guns, I'm like lost.
I don't know. It was ridiculous. I think that's just crazy. But anyway, and then do you still do the industry night?
We don't do the industry night anymore. We don't. It's just something that I think everybody does it in the city now. It's that. But again, that goes back to the industry. Like, right. It's not the same anymore. You could give away the house every day.
COVID.
Yeah, it changed. It really changed everything. And the demographic from 21 to 30-ish is different now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And like you said, a lot of them don't drink. It's.
I don't know if they don't drink. So like you talk to people and they come up with the different theories, right? Oh, it's the marijuana. Nobody's smoking that much marijuana. There's nobody sitting home and smoking that much marijuana. It's just not that way. The only thing in my simple brain that I can come up with is the socialization. And that's all I can conclude. So back in the day, when I was 21 or whatever, you had to go and meet people. You had to go on dates. You had to go, like I remember
to get out
on Monday nights. It was 2 people, 2 people, 2 people, 2 people, 2 people. And I used to make a killing on Monday nights, big date night. But now you don't need to date. You don't need to do. And what happens as like you see it at the bar and you see the socialization skills is like, hi, Carol, it's nice to see you.
Yep.
Oh, you have beautiful hair. It's so nice to instead of like, hey, what's your name? My name is Pat. Carol, it's beautiful. Wow, those glasses are all like blah, blah, blah. But now it can be like anything you can say behind a keyboard and you have the most confidence in the world. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to text and be like, hey, why don't you come over and hook up? Or like that stuff is gone. Like the dating is getting to know people.
Socialization.
Yeah,
kids. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just not. It's weird to say all the kids and now the technology, but it's true. Like it's Snapchat, TikToks, Facebook and everything. You don't need to go and meet anybody. I'm not even talking about like dating sites or anything. It's just like you go into someone's and you just message them and be like, hey, what's up? Well, like they don't have that. They don't, and nobody goes out to drinks anymore. Nobody, okay, let's go get a drink or do whatever. Like it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that across the country the spirits industry is down, I think 40%. And that's a reflection of the socialization skills.
Yeah.
Nobody has to go out anymore. No, like, that's, I'm talking about, now I'll go back to Manchester. I think a lot of things have happened in the city that contribute to business being the way it is right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think you're.
I think
you
during a certain administration where we had that negativity downtown, where we had the junkies and the vagrants and everything else, I think it reflected things, and it's hard to come back from that. And this is the example that I use every time is Carol and 5 of her girlfriends who live in Bedford come into the city. They go to Campo and have a great dinner. They go to 815 for cocktails. They go to wherever and then they come to Bonfire and now they're partying and dancing and do whatever. And they had a great night. And on their way back to the parking garage, they stepped over a guy who they've never seen in their life with an actual needle in his arm, a kit around and doing this. And like another woman that followed them to the car begging for money, knocking on the window.
Awful.
Now, you go home and you tell Daryl and be like, we had a great night. Everything was awesome. But
then
this is what happened. So next time you say Daryl going out, blah, 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 why don't you just go to the Copper Door? Why don't you go to 1750, the River Road Tavern, somewhere like stay in Bedford, parking, lights, everything, safety. So how many times has that happened, right? Over the years, like now those 5 ladies that were coming into Bedford, from Bedford to Manchester, don't have it. So now let's break out the circle even more. So the people like back in the day, you had to come to the city. You had to. So even from Salem
was the thing.
Salem all the way up, like from Salem, you either went to Boston or you came up here, right? But now we've done so much damage in my mind, and we're coming back and there's things happening, and Jay's doing a lot of good things. But now, like, you have this monster in Salem, like the Tuscan, you don't have to live it. You don't have to go anywhere. It's all seafood, this, and this, and like live music. And like now you don't have to. And now they're doing that in Derry. Now they're going to do it in Bedford. And now what happened back in those days is like, it's hard to come back. It's hard to gain that confidence back. It's hard to get people to be like, hey, we're safe. There's nothing happening downtown. That, like those things have hurt us so bad. And it's hard to gain that back.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And that's what's hurting us. And
you touched upon who was running it before, but back in October of 2024, when Kelly Ayotte went to Bonfire and totally go Pat, that was awesome. She's amazing.
She is great.
I just love her.
So I got a lot of shit from people in the city saying that I was bashing the city. Like, it was a lot of like,
it was the truth.
A lot of bar owners came out against me saying that I was smashing the city and saying that it was like not safe and I wasn't doing that.
No.
And
it's the way that people like that, they're always going to see it that way. They're not going to see, I want to say so much right now.
And we can, because we don't want to offend somebody. Everybody's money's green, right? And everybody, you want Don to offend. And I got messages and I got hate and everything, like you support Kelly, blah, blah. And I'll just go into how I know Kelly. When Mike was killed, she was the attorney general who prosecuted Mike's killer. So I spent every day in that court.
Briggs.
Yeah. With Laura Briggs.
That's right. You do things with Pal too.
Yeah, not so much anymore, but yeah.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. So when we spent it every day.
I hear a lot about what she did with that, yeah.
We spent every day, like, for a year and a half in court. And then, we just continued our friendship and relationship. And
it was amazing.
Her chief of staff, Chris Conley, who, when I was in New Boston, was a sergeant in Goffstown, who, like, helped me immensely as a new police officer.
So you were a police officer in New Boston?
Yeah, in Milford, yeah. Helped me immensely with things I didn't know what I was doing. So we kept up our friendship over the years and with Kelly. And then she asked to do something at the bar. I'm like, yeah,
good.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's amazing. She is.
And then she did that thing with Laura we went to this house in Nashua. Like this house is in Nashua. It was this unbelievable house. And like, we filmed something with Laura about when Kelly prosecuted Mike's killer and stuff. So it was great. Yeah. She's doing a lot of good things.
She is doing a lot.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And it's just Jay too. And Jay is, she's like real. She's down to your level. You know what I mean? She's not, it's naughty.
So she sat at the table with us and hung out.
You shouldn't need to do that.
She presented me with it was awesome. Yeah.
That's nice.
On a Friday night, like, I'm sure she had better stuff to do, but that was awesome. Good night.
It just proves to you what, how her how she is. I mean, she's just a nice woman. Yeah. I always like to end with like, you must go out to eat.
I do.
And where do you and your wife frequent?
Hands down.
Okay. We have a hands down too. So
Hands down. Every time. Ignite.
So we have two.
Without it,
So what will be another one? It's got to be the other one.
where we go.
Because Ignite, I mean, Anne does thing. I mean, you can't go wrong. I love her mussels. Oh my gosh, so good. And Daryl always gets the chiappini over there.
That you can, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
No, it's ironic again, but like when you go to get your hair done and you put your hair back in the bowl, like that's how big it is. Like you wash your hair in that thing, it's so goddamn big.
I'm going to think about that now when he gets.
It's so big, it's so big. Yeah.
I love it.
So laid back, easy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. And Anne, I mean, she runs out like nothing.
She's
amazing.
She's an owner operator, like
Total owner operator, just like you.
Yeah.
I mean, you and Jimmy. I mean, you know. And
I would say my second laid back, easy, no is Pizza Man on East Industrial.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we live in the South End,
Okay.
and it's right up the street from our house.
Okay.
The only thing that I don't like about it is they have Pepsi.
Oh, see, I don't like places that have Pepsi.
You know, the Nines. Like, I love the Nines. I grew up in Massachusetts. I love the Nines, but they only have Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't like
I
Pepsi.
can't drink Diet Pepsi. I probably drink 7 gallons of Diet Coke a day. Like, I'm not joking you. But, like, the only thing about Pizza Man is they have Pepsi.
Well, you know, you're saying Pizza Man. I have been hearing things, because you must be a member at New Hampshire Eats. I love to watch that. Can be a little brutal sometimes, but that's a whole other story. But I was hearing about Grand Slam, like, you know, on Main Street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I've been hearing about this for a while. And a friend of mine that she'll post pictures of her and her husband going in there. And I'm like, Grand Slam Pizza on Main Street? I'm like, it doesn't even look like it's a restaurant. It kind of looks like you just go and get something to go and you come out. So we went about 3 weeks ago, our first time. It's not one of my two. Let me just say that first. I will tell you what my one is. But have you been?
Did you get a beef?
I didn't.
So that's it.
That is their thing. That my son has beef, so I didn't eat beef. And I'm not a big beef person anyway. But we got wing. I'm not. I mean, it's okay. I have like a couple bites. I'll have a bite of dairy, you know. But it's not my thing. But they do. They say their beefs are amazing, and I saw a couple of them go by, and they do look absolutely amazing.
They're really good.
Yeah.
So like
So you've been.
I watched the episode with your son, and I grew up in the North Shore. I'm from Peabody, so I grew up on roast beef, Bill and Bob's, and all that stuff. So I watched his dissertation on the roast beef, so I like got it. But yeah, I would say in the city right now,
I think so.
it's the best beef.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I hear people talk about it. We got wings and a pizza.
They're not.
Yeah, no. The food, I thought the food was fantastic. I thought it was really, really good.
The beef, the super beef at Grand Slam, there's nobody else in the city. There was a place on the bypass, 28, Mikey's, which you've driven by a gazillion times. It's right across from that.
It's still there? No.
He sold it. There's a new owners, but I was going there. So you come down Wellington, Mr. Mike's, the car dealership, and it's right across there. There's a gun store in there. It's called Mikey's, and he had a great beef. Really good beef.
All right.
But he's not there anymore. So I would say Grand Slam has the best beef going right now in the city.
Yeah, I've read that and saw it, and yeah, very, very good. It was delicious. And nice atmosphere even. I mean, the bar was, I mean, we sit at bars when we go out. It was just a nice atmosphere. The bar.
Grand Slam was like a shithole for
ever. Well, I just thought that's what it was. I was like, what? We got to go check this out because I'm reading too many things about it, and they're saying the food's good. So we have two. Ignite is definitely one, and then the other one is the Crown. We like the Crown.
But the Crown has like my schedule.
Right.
So they're not.
So you're right. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah. So we can never go there. And like,
sure,
they're the same exact schedule. So like, I always tell Steven, I'm like, you know, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go see.
Finally opened at 4. These places that open at 5. I'm like, come on, we're old. We go out early now.
But we don't do the Crown because it's never open.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. I think their food, just like Anne's, consistent. You know what you're going to get. personable. I mean, Zach, the GM in there, I have no idea. Well, now we're getting to know him, but a couple of times we went and then he's like, "Hi, Carol. Hi, dear." I'm like, how do you even remember that? Like, oh my goodness, they're just, yeah.
I heard that obviously I know about the Crown, like the food's awesome and the pizza's awesome.
Yeah. It's always good, consistent, just like Anne.
Yeah. Like I don't know, I always like boast about her and say her, but like it's all like she runs it and like work with us women, right? And I know the drama that comes along with it, but she's been doing it for how long? And all those personalities and all that, like.
Well, as not business owners, as restaurant owners, it's like a different breed of people, right? They're all, I mean, we wear many hats, from social worker, banker. I always said we should write a book. We'd probably make more money, right?
Shit. Like, and it's funny you talk about the banker. So like, I always use this one thing is like, so you bring it in. A lot of our friends have work. All the young kids coming up now that we're older, I have kids that like are bussers and do whatever and bar backs and like, I'm going to say, hey, I know you're not going to get this reference, but there's a scene in a movie called Goodfellas when they do the heist and they all come back and then they come back with the mink coat and the Cadillac and all this stuff. And the mob guy's like, bring it back. I go, now you're going to stop making all this money. I don't want to see you coming in with new Jordans, a new iPhone, and do this because it could snow next weekend.
Exactly.
Have nothing. So you save your money and you do all this. I go, you're going to make a lot of money that you've never seen before. Save it.
Then they think they're rich.
Yeah. And they come back with, I got a new iPhone. Right. I go, you got a new pair of sneakers to work in a bar? Are you nuts?
Right.
They're going to get dirty in 2 seconds. What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah. So.
It's fun though. I mean, with all kidding aside, I guess, although.
I mean, I did tell you to retire the other day when you were on top of that, when you got that great article written. I go, the red arrow's on top. Sell it. Get out, retire, go to Florida. Go. Take it. Take your dad with you. Go
no, my dad will never retire.
I know. I will. Only when I drive.
Never retire.
Toys what are you doing here?
Yeah. Nope. That's no
wheel side.
He would not. He's going to be 85 and, he's probably here now. And then he'll travel to almost all the diners every day. I mean, it's crazy.
Snowing outside. What are you doing? Go to Florida. Why are you here?
And he goes to Florida and he'll say he's going to be there for 2 weeks and he comes home in a week because he's bored. I'm like, Dad, would you try to enjoy yourself? But he doesn't know how.
It's institutionalized like us.
It's just, no, I can enjoy myself.
Right away.
Yeah, well, you got to. But, well, this was really fun.
It was awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to let people know about Bonfire or something maybe that we didn't touch on that you want to?
No.
Well, get on over to Bonfire because I'm telling you, one Sunday night, I'm going to have to look at our schedule. I'm going and do that beginner line dancing. And I love the time. The time is really good, 5 o'clock. It's not like 8 o'clock or something. These kids that like go out at 8 and 9 at night, I'm like, how do you even, I may have my PJs on at 6. I mean, come on. But I love that.
I would love a good podcast with like foodies talk about some food, not about businesses or whatever. Let's get some people in here talking about food. Let's get Ann in here. Let's get your son.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Nick in here. Talk about food, like what's good for food. Like Dante from Dead Proof.
He's on my list. You must have I can find him.
Yeah, no.
I'll contact him.
He's working out of
Torch.
Yeah.
So,
let's talk about food.
I love it. I love talking about food. That's like what I do.
Let's talk about food.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's set it up.
All right.
Set it up.
This was awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Pat. All right. Bye, everybody.